So I'm just a big believer in improving my little corner of the world. I think even though sometimes people don't realize it, we all have some sort of influence. And that could just be something as simple as volunteering as a nonprofit, donating food to the food bank. So for me, I've always had a really strong sense of community, and just, again, wanting to kind of improve my own little community and my little corner of the world.
Hello, Tea Who Cooked Play. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Volunteer Voices. I'm excited to be here with Lachelle, a Project Harmony volunteer who a little birdie told me about that you do so many amazing things for the organization. So I'm looking forward to our chat. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Katie. I'm excited to be here.
Can you tell me a little bit about your volunteerism for Project Harmony?
Yes, full disclosure, I used to work at Project Harmony. I found out about Project Harmony through somebody else who used to volunteer there, actually. So I knew of it before I started working there. So I worked there for a couple of years, and I left not because I didn't love the organization, but just because I wanted to do something different. But I knew that I definitely wanted to stay involved. So I took, I think, a year off, and then I actually joined the Project Harmony Service League board. So the goal of the Service League board is really to bring awareness to the general community about Project Harmony and all the work that they do, their events. And as part of that, I do volunteer to help out with events. I help with envelope stuffings. They actually have family support groups for families. And so part of my volunteer work is also helping them with that. Buying food. I usually adopt a family at Christmas in support of the organization and the families that, they work with and they support. So it's kind of it in a nutshell.
So a little bit of everything. Basically, wherever they need some additional support and capacity.
Yep.
What's your favorite thing about volunteering for Project Harmony?
Honestly, I would say it's the work that they do. It is, I cannot stress how important it is.
Tell me a bit about the work, if you wouldn't mind.
So Project Harmony, in case you don't know, is what is called a Child Advocacy Center, or a CAC. It was actually established in Nebraska along with other CACs in Nebraska in the 90s. It was actually a legislative bill. I cannot remember the number. But Project Harmony really does two things. The first thing would be response services. So that would be, unfortunately, when there is an instance of some sort of abuse against a child, Project Harmony is there to assist. And then the second part of their mission is preventative services. So they have a program called Connections, for example, where they offer mental health services and resources. And I believe all of Omaha Public Schools, they're in Ralston Public Schools, I think Millard Public Schools. And again, that's that preventative work. To try to catch these kids and their families and get them the services that they need, before they end up in the system or before something bad happens. So it was really just what they do really speaks to my heart. And then also having worked there, I can say the people as well. Like they continue to grow, but it's just a wonderful group of people. So it just carries a special place in my heart. So even though I wasn't working there, I wanted to stay involved.
You have a lot going on. You have your own full-time job. What is it about volunteerism and giving back that rises it to the level of priority of this in your life?
So I'm just a big believer in improving my little corner of the world. I think even though sometimes people don't realize it, we all have some sort of influence. And that could just be something as simple as volunteering as a nonprofit, donating food to the food bank. So for me, I've always had a really strong sense of community, and just, again, wanting to kind of improve my own little community and my little corner of the world. So I've always placed a high priority on volunteering. So Project Harmony is the big one, and then another organization, but I've also volunteered and been a big with Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands since 2013.
Do you have a favorite time, a favorite memory of your time volunteering?
I would say at Project Harmony, it is probably the holiday season. So I really like volunteering when they're, getting gifts for all the families who are adopted. You go, you get your stuff, and then you drop off your gifts, and it's just the spirit that's there. And you walk into a room and you just see, all these wonderful gifts that complete strangers have purchased for kids and families. And it really is like the spirit of Christmas and the spirit of the holidays.
Mm.
So I would say that's probably my favorite. And then my second favorite would be one of Project Harmony's events, halfway to St. Patrick Day.
Yes.
Just missed this year's, but it's a good time. I encourage everybody to check it out. It happens in September, so halfway to St. Patrick's Day. It's just an amazing time. It's really fun, and it's all for a good cause.
What would you tell other people who are considering saying, hey, sign me up as a Project Harmony volunteer?
I would say do it. There is a little something for everyone, and you can be involved as much as you want or as little as you want. So even if it's like, I can only afford, or I only have the time to volunteer, maybe a couple of months when my kids are in school. They're always looking for people to do stress jars for the kids, blankets for the kids, organizing closets, very small things. And if you're somebody who has a lot of extra time, you can also volunteer, once or twice a week. There's something for everyone, really.
Lachelle, thank you for everything that you're doing to make our community a better place.
You're welcome. And thank you, Katie.